Hi everyone, this is Amina for another episode of Wise Wednesdays. Today I want to talk to you about the 4Rs. The 4Rs is a powerful mindfulness tool designed to help you deactivate your stress response. The way it does that is by helping you let go of erroneous assumptions or an erroneous bias. So when your stress response is triggered, essentially there's a gap or a mismatch between what your brain thinks should be happening and what it thinks is actually happening. So if you think, I should be spoken to in a certain way by my colleagues, and your boss or another colleague speaks to you not in that way, then there's a mismatch and your stress response is triggered. Now, you could say, well, that's fine. I need to talk to them and make sure that they speak to me in the way that I expect. Or you can go inwards and look at your own perception of the situation. So you can transform the outer situation, or you can go within and transform your perception of the situation. And to transform your perception of the situation, you need to let go of the underlying assumptions that may be false, or at the very least, they're not helpful to you. So the 4Rs can help you do that. And I find it very powerful in my own life and also in the life of clients I work with, to help them transform the way they see themselves, the way they see others, and the way they see the world, and therefore transform their experience of what's going on to be a bit more peaceful and fulfilling, as well as transforming the outer situation as a result of the fact that they're feeling differently and therefore behaving differently. So, without further ado, the 4Rs. So these are the 4Rs that will help you deactivate your stress response by helping you to let go of false assumptions. And the practical result is that essentially you're interrupting old patterns that do not serve you. So if you have the habit, for example, of shouting at people whenever you think they're criticizing you, then you might have reached a point where you think, actually, this is not helpful anymore in my situation. I'm in a leadership position right now and I cannot be shouting at people. So the 4Rs are the following. Number 1, recognize. So the first thing is that you're able to recognize that you have been triggered into a stress response. And you realize that this is not your normal state. This is your stress response. This is not the normal you. You have suddenly been kicked into a survival response. Your brain has perceived a threat and it's gone into limbic hijack. It's all mammalian now. It's all about attacking or running. So recognizing that is the first step. And it's not obvious because you may be running on chronic stress, on chronic survival type of attitude or behaviors. And so when you're triggered a little bit more, you don't realize that you're in a survival response and that other people are perceiving you as aggressive, or they're perceiving you as very passive, and that can leave you open to other complications. So number 1, recognize that you have been triggered. Number 2, refrain. So once you recognize what's going on, it's time to break the pattern. So in the past, when you would have been triggered in that way and not noticed, you would have gone into some kind of automatic response, like shouting or submitting or leaving the situation. So you at that point need to stop any kind of outward action. Of course, if you're about to be attacked by a tiger, you need to run. Any other situation, it's unlikely you need to do that. You can afford a few moments of stopping and being still and taking a deep breath. So number 2 is refrain. Refrain from taking action, refrain from your usual habit or your usual response. So number 1, recognize you've been triggered into a stress response. Number 2, refrain from your usual pattern of behavior under stress. Number 3, relax. So this is your chance, now that you've created some space essentially around you by not taking action. You've essentially stopped time. You've changed your future because you're not going down your usual path. You're not indulging your usual pattern, and that creates a new future for you and for everybody around you. And so you want to take the opportunity to just be in that possible new future and keep relaxing. So use whatever techniques work for you. If you relax by taking a few deep breaths, that's great. If you relax by calling someone who just helps you come back to the present moment, do that. I'd recommend you don't call someone who's going to make you feel more triggered. So someone who's going to reinforce your anger, or someone who's going to make you feel shame. You ideally want to call someone who you know helps you relax. So what else can I say about relaxation? It's quite a big topic, so I'll leave it at that. But once you've recognized you've been triggered, you have refrained from your usual pattern, therefore creating a new set of possibilities. Relax into that new set of possibilities. Allow your nervous system to realize it's safe, there's no possibility of being eaten, and there are plenty of possibilities to choose a different course of action. So recognize, refrain, relax, and number 4 is resolve. So this is also quite an interesting and deep step, or complex step. So I can't go into much depth with it right now, but there are 2 elements to it. One is to resolve the misunderstanding. So, and this happens by further relaxation and letting go of the false assumptions. Because if you're relaxing, you will suddenly start to see that your thinking was flawed. It's a positive feedback mechanism. So you relax, your thoughts change, you relax further, your thoughts change, and suddenly the situation looks very different. I'm sure you've all experienced this. So as you do that, you will also realize that, oh, that was so silly. I can't believe I was so upset about that thing. It's not really the way it looked. I was just upset because it reminded me of X and Y that happened to me in the past. It's not really as bad as I thought, or as I felt. And as you realize that, you allow new thoughts to come in, like, oh, well, maybe, all I need to do is just take some time out, and then I can go back and send this email, and it's going to sort out the whole situation. So you resolve the misunderstanding in your own mind. The other part of resolve is committing to being present, committing to being this evolved, elevated, in this more evolved state of mind. So you're the full human being that you're capable of being. You're not just your mammalian animal brain. So that's the commitment to a lifetime of practice, because once you get a glimpse of it, it's super fun, it's super exciting, and you will continue to experience situations where you're triggered, and you need to commit to continuing to resolve them. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. I know it covers quite a lot of ground. I've tried to make it into a potted summary. If you find it helpful, I would love to know that. If you have any questions or you want me to expand on something, then let me know either by email or leave me a comment. And I'd love to hear your stories if you have some success with it. So the 4 R's of mindfulness will help you to break patterns and to create new futures for yourself and those around you. Okay, well, I wish you a very good week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.